The word that comes to mind for me is presence.
Okay.
If the object has a presence that's appealing, in other words, you want to be in its presence.
Sure.
You want to touch it. You want to stand back and examine it, perhaps admire it, perhaps not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of the overarching approach, I guess, that I must have taken, not consciously, but
Mm-hmm.
you know. He did several things that not every missionary felt necessary to learn. He was a blacksmith.
Okay.
He, I guess, hadn't he studied anthropology as well as
Yes.
medicine and divinity? He retired from his, I believe, 34 years. I believe he went out in 1925 or thereabouts. And when I finished my 2 years and a half there in the spring of 1960, he was preparing to leave at almost the same time I was coming home for
Oh.
transfer. He was coming home to retire.
Okay.
So I stayed in close touch with him back here and actually invited him myself and accompanied him to do lectures to the budding Peace Corps.
Okay.
And we went to two universities, one in Pittsburgh, right? The other one may have been Penn State.
Penn State. Oh, good.
Yeah. And I, on one of the occasions that he'd brought things for me to see and possibly buy, we came up with the idea that we would travel to a number of countries, in fact, almost 15 of them. One of my really more satisfying relationships was with the director of the National Museums.
Mhm.
And I made a habit in virtually every one of the missions. Very soon after arrival, I would try to get in touch with the museum systems and discover, what are your rules? How do we conform with what you want to happen here? And in particular, what should we do if we plan to take objects away from your country? The Belgian government had named as at the behest of the Zairian government, they had chosen a truly outstanding Africanist who had worked with the Tervuren Museum and who had become a specialist in the study of the Kuba people.
Oh, okay.
His name was Joseph Cornet,
Cornet, right.
and he used the title brother, Frère Cornet.
Right.
He was the director of the National Museums of Zaire. And they said, no, but do you have anything else at home? And I said, well, yes, a few things. And they said, can we go home with you? So they went home with us, and we got to be on, kind of a pattern of being frequently in touch. And Margaret attended my wedding, and she was godmother to one of the kids. I would like to put Leopold Senghor as influencing me also, because I love the way he wrote and tried to read as much of his poetry as I could find. And also he worked really, really seriously at, there was the very elaborate international kind of conference and exhibit that,
Yes, yeah.
that he sponsored there at
Right.
at Senghor.